Hello everyone. Today I have for you Circuit Breaker. It's a game that you can play solo or for up to 3 players. It's by Freshwater Game Company. And in this game, you take on the role of a house owner that's throwing a party that has to be put together real quickly. So you have to rewire the circuit breaker in your house for different appliances. It's coming to Kickstarter on June 18th. We're going to go show you the setup, a little bit of the gameplay, and get you ready for Circuit Breaker. Here's the prototype for Circuit Breaker. I've been told that the prototype is as near to the final production copy as they can get it. Of course, the components and pictures might change during the Kickstarter, depending on funding goals and everything. But here's what we have. So you see the front cover of the box, Circuit Breaker right there. So we'll go ahead. I'm just gonna set it to the side right there. So first off, we have a bunch of dice right here. At the beginning of the game, each player gets 6 dice. So I'll go ahead and give Gothy 6, and then I'll take 6 for myself right there. Put the rest in the box. And this game is able to be played with up to 3 players, or you can play it single by yourself. There's separate rules for single player. We're going to cover the 2-player rules here. 2 and 3 players follow the same rules. Single players a little bit different, but gameplay is basically the same. Some stuff changes though. So first off, we have these cards right here that designate the party favors, and the number on the cards is how much the party favors cost. You've got 1 through 4, and they're all different colors. The 1 is for orange, the 2 is for blue, the 3 is for red, and the 4 is for green. So you go ahead and set those out on the top of your game board like that. There we go. Make sure you can see those on the camera. Yeah, they're right within view. I'll move them down a little bit because we're going to move some stuff around here. And then you've got this bag of multicolored party favors right here of the 4 different colors. I'm going to go ahead and hand these over to Gothylocks. Basically, you stack up the colors on the party favor tiles over there. So while she's doing that, I'll go over this. You've got these 4 circles that have the numbers 1 through 4 on them that denote round timers. They're little clocks right there. And you stack them up with 4 on the bottom, followed by 3, 2, and 1 on the top. This is how you'll keep track of the rounds. Go ahead and stick those next to the party favors right here. These tiles we'll cover in a second. You got little quick reference cards that show the steps in a turn, which we'll go over in a minute. I'll take that and I'll hand one to Gothy and put the other one in the box. And you've got these stacks of cards right here that are secret appliances for your turn. They've got a list of 4 different appliances, and these are what you're trying to get. You get extra points if you're actually able to make these appliances, have them attached to your wiring grid that you have attached to your circuit breaker. And we'll go over what that means in a minute. I'm just going to set these aside for right now while I'll show everything else. So the purpose of Circuit Breaker is you're having a house party and you're trying to compete with your neighbors to make sure you have the best appliances and everything available in your house for your house party and get them all connected. And you do this by playing different wiring tiles and appliance tiles, and then also trying to one-up your opponents by using these little mice tokens. The game comes with 3 different ones here. I'll show you, they got little pictures of mice on them, and on the flip side they have mouse traps, and this is what you use to get your opponent's mouse off your tiles, because your opponent can actually either steal your tiles, or they can make you discard different stuff, or they can be used to actually draw extra tiles. We'll go through that in a minute. We're gonna put those over here, and then you've got the little electricity bolt right there. This denotes what player is the first player for that round. So I'll actually take that since I'm going to be first player. You have, don't shake your head like that. You have a stack of tiles right here. These are the wiring tiles, and you can see it's got a grid on it. Some of them are in a cross like that with 4, and some of them are in a T-shape like that on the 5. The number on the back denotes how much it costs to buy one of these tiles. And on the opposite sides, it has different wiring diagrams, as you can see, that either have one spot right there, they have 2, as you can see over here, a 2 connection, or they've got a 3 connection like this. Because the different appliances and other wiring grids, they have to be able to match up, and then match up to your circuit breaker also. And so they cost different, like this one right here, it costs 8. And so you can see when it's stacked up like that, you can see what shape the wiring grid is in. You can see this one right here, that's a 5, that's in the T shape. The grid is like this on the other side. It's only got the 3 connections on it. So I'm going to hand these to Gothy to go ahead and shuffle up while I go over the appliance tiles. The appliance tiles have the little lightning bolt on the back, and they have appliances on the other side. Like this one is an electric toothbrush. And you see the wiring harness down here at the bottom is for a 3, so it has to connect up to one of those 3s on the wiring harness. See another one right here. This is a tape deck. The tape deck right there, and it's got the connection for a 2 on the top. There's 2 of each one of these in the game, and depending on how many you have connected to your wiring harness on your circuit breaker, it's going to be worth so many points for the game. So I'll go ahead and let Gothy shuffle those. I've got my dice right here, I think. The last part that you have right here is some circuit breakers. Even though they all have different things, like this one says Sparkle Electrical Ink on the top of it. This one doesn't have any labels on it. This one says Inspection Notice right there on the top. It doesn't matter. They're all basically the same. They've got a connection on the bottom and a connection right here on top, because you're going to build off of this. So you just go ahead and choose whichever circuit breaker that you like, since it doesn't really matter. I'll have to take that one. I'll take that one. The other one can go back in the box. And you go ahead and put it out in front of you. Now, to start the game, we've got all of our, we got these wrong. These orange ones actually go over here, because oranges are on 1 and reds are on 3. Because it's the color of the number. It's okay.
Sorry, I'm colorblind apparently.
Yeah, a little bit colorblind, she's claiming. So the oranges are on 1, the blues are on 2, 3, 4. So I got wiring harness like this. We're going to have to build sideways because we're a little bit limited on room here. So once you have it laid out like this, everybody gets to get one of these special cards, the secret cards with the different things. Like this one right here, you see it's got a thermostat, a mobile, a phone, and a shoe polisher. You want to try to get those and connect them to your harnesses, because if you do, whatever you score at the end of the game, you'll get 3 points for each one of these that is on your wiring grid at the end of the 4th round. Now, if you have anything other than these connected, they each count as 1 point. And since there's 2 of each appliance in the appliance deck, if you have both of the ones that are on your list, or you have 2 copies, like if I had 2 copies of the telephone connected to my grid, they would count as a total of 9 points at the end of the game. Now, if you have 2 copies of something that isn't on your list, they count as a total of 3 points at the end of the game. And then your party favors count. If you buy them and you have them at the end of the game, they count for however many points they are that you bought them for. So we're going to go ahead and give these just like a quick shuffle. Then Gothy will choose one and I'll choose one. Go ahead and fan them out like it's a magic trick. Pick a card, any card. And I'll take this one. We'll keep it secret. And I'm going to go ahead and put the rest back into the box. Everything like that. Everybody picks a mouse token for themselves. Gothy's going to pick that one. And I'll pick the blue mouse token, put it over here next to my starting token, and put the other one in the box. And then everybody gets their starting hand for the game. Everybody is going to get 3 tiles, the 3 appliance tiles, and 1 of the wiring tiles. So we'll go ahead and give Gothy 3 appliance tiles and 1 wiring tile. I'll get 3 appliance tiles like this and 1 wiring tile to start the game out with. And then you take the ones off the stack here and you go ahead and you put 2 of them out underneath the board. And if you had 3 of the same number here, because we've got 7, 6, and 7, if you had 3 of the same number, you go ahead and shuffle and then deal them out. So these 3, the 2 that are separate here on the board and the one that's here, will be available for purchase during the game. And then we can get to what is on our quick reference sheet. So during your turn, you're going to be able to, 1, buy a tile or a party favor. You'll be able to trade, and we'll go over what trade is in a little bit. You'll be able to place up to 2 tiles on your wiring grid here to your circuit breaker, or you'll be able to move the mouse or the trap if applicable. And we'll go over what that means here in a second. Let me go ahead and check my my cards real quick. Okay, let's see. That's what I got there. That's what I got there. I've got one of those and that. Awesome. Let me set these off to the side here. Okay, so at the beginning of the round, so we're starting the first round, everybody rolls their dice. Okay, let's see what we got. If you have 3 of the same number, you can choose to re-roll all your dice one time if you like. I have 2 1s, I've got 2 2s, and I've got a 3 and a 5 right here. And you see what Gothy has over there. She's got a 1, she's got a 3, she got 2 4s, she's got a 5 and a 6. So these dice right here we are going to use to either buy tiles or party favors, or we can use them to place the mouse somewhere if we like. So let's go over the steps in the turn real quick, and I'll just show for example. Let's say if I wanted to buy one of these tiles, and you just a note, you cannot buy the appliance tiles. Appliance tiles are only gotten whenever the mouse moves off of it, and during different circumstances, we'll go over in a second. So the things that are available to buy are one of the wiring tiles or one of the party favors, and you can only do each one of these things on your quick reference turn. You can only do it one time during your turn. One time each during your turn. So you have up to 4 different actions. And the round ends whenever anybody can't complete 2 or more actions on their card. So at the beginning of the round, everybody's going to be able to complete stuff, and it's going to go back and forth. So it starts off with me. So I'm going to go ahead and I will buy a... I'm going to buy a party favor. Why not? So when you buy a party favor, you trade off your dice for that, and it has to be equal to what you're doing. So let's say I wanted to buy one of these orange ones right here. I take my 1 die, put it off to the side, and I would take one of the party favors and put it in my area, and that's going to count for 1 point at the end of the game. If you wanted to possibly move the mouse costs 2 to move. So if I wanted to, and you have to pay for it whenever you're paying for buying either one of the wiring tiles or the party favors. So if I wanted to, say, put this mouse on Gothylox's circuit breaker, or possibly put it on top of the appliance tile here, I'd have to pay the 2 for the mouse plus whatever else I was doing. Let's say I wanted to get that 1 party favor again. I could pay this 3 dice that I'd rolled, because it's 1 for the party favor and then 2 to move the mouse. So I'd put the 3 off to the side and I'd place the mouse, let's say, on top of the party favor. Now, the reason you want to strategically place the mouse where you can is because whenever the mouse moves off of wherever you place it, an action happens. If I move it, since I have it on tile, if like next turn I move the mouse off of the appliance tile, I will get to draw that top tile and put it into my hand. If I had it on top of Gothylox's circuit breaker, whenever I moved it, I can cause her to discard a card, I think it is, from her hand. We haven't played too much with putting it on people's circuit breakers too much, but I know whenever you put it on their tile, you take a tile from their hand. You take it from their hand, not cause them to discard it. So if I had it here in the next turn, I moved it off of there, I'd be able to take a card from her hand. If you have it on any of her wiring tiles, or if you have it on one of her appliance tiles, whenever it moves off, you actually get to steal that tile from them. Now, alternately, you could pay to place the mouse trap, because if somebody has a mouse, let's say Gothy had put her mouse on my circuit breaker like this, I could pay the 2 on my turn and place the mouse trap on top of her mouse, which basically kicks her mouse off onto the appliance tile, and she will not get to steal a card from me or from my hand. Basically, the trap's used as a deterrent. And then on my turn, my next turn, I could pay 2 to actually place it somewhere myself. But whenever the mouse gets kicked off of one of the tiles of the circuit breaker or wherever, basically it goes to the top of the appliance stack over here. Let's go and give her mouse back, and I'll put mine there. I'll put the party favor back because that is not what I want to do this turn. So that's basically buying your turn for buying tiles or a party favor, and for moving the mouse, because it's only every now and then you're going to use the mouse. Now, you can trade on your turn. Whatever you trade, you can discard one of your appliance tiles here to the appliance discard stack, and when you discard it face down so that nobody can see it, and you draw the top card and basically replace it in your hand. And that's one of the only ways that you get new appliance tile, other than at the beginning of the round. And the last thing you can do, number 3 right there, is you can place up to 2 tiles from your hand, and it's free. You place them, and something has to connect to one of your connectors first. It doesn't matter how many of those connections there are. You can do a 1 connection, a 2 connection, or a 3 connection to your breaker box. And then you place either a wiring tile or an appliance tile to that wiring tile. So let's see. I'm going to start off my turn. Let's see. I'm going to place up to 2 tiles first. I'll place my wiring harness right here like that. This wiring here, 3 connecting there, and I've got a 2 over here, 1 over here, and a 1 over here. And then I'm going to connect Puppet Show to that one right there. So I've placed my 2 tiles. I've done that 1 action for the turn. I'm going to take the trade action. I'm going to discard this one to draw an appliance tile. I'm going to check my secret thing and see if it's actually on the thing. Let's see. I'm going to spend 8 right there. So I'll spend my 5 dice and my 3 dice. I'm going to spend 6 of it to grab this wiring tile right here. And then this one moves out, and we've got that one accessible for buying now. And with the other 2 from that 8, I'm actually going to move my mouse. I'm going to place it on top of the appliance tile right there. And my dice get set to the side. So I've completed the 4 actions. I've done 1 each. And whenever you place tiles, you can place up to 2 tiles. You don't have to place 2 total. If I just want to place the 1 wiring harness, I could. If I had a bunch of wiring out there and I just want to place 1 appliance, I could. So it all depends. You can place up to 2 tiles. You don't have to place the complete 2. So since I've completed those 4 actions, now it goes over to Gothylocks for her turn. Yeah, finally. I know. I talk a lot. That's the purpose of the videos.
I'll place this.
Okay. She's going to place that wiring harness connected to the connection on her circuit breaker right there.
And then I'll place Sparky.
Okay, Sparky. Yep, it's a sharpener right there, so she places that there. So she's completed the action number 3 of placing up to 2 tiles.
I'm going to trade.
Okay, so she's discarding face down. And even though my mouse is on top, she'll still get to draw the card right there.
I'm going to pay 9.
Okay, she's buying the 7 harness, so the 8 comes off there. We've got a 6 available now at the top of the stack.
And then the 2 I'm going to place.
Okay. And she's using the extra 2 from that 9 to place her mouse on my puppet show. Now, if I don't do anything with that mouse, she will actually be able to take, whenever she moves that off on her next turn, she will take the puppet show herself. Okay, and she's done with her 4 actions. So now on my turn, let's see. I've got 2 2s and 2 1s on there, so it's kind of limiting me a little bit on what I can do. I can either buy something up here and let her mouse do that. But let me see. I'm going to let's say I'm going to pay 4 to buy a number 2 party favor right there and put it into my area over here to keep track. And then with the other 2, I'm going to move my mouse off of the appliance stack over here and put it as a trap on her mouse right there on my puppet show. So since my mouse came off the appliance stack here, I will get to draw that card. And then her mouse gets booted off of my puppet show and goes to the appliance stack right there. Let's see, what did I get? All right. Okay. So now I've completed my move the mouse and I bought a party favor. I've yet to trade or place any tiles. So let's go. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trade this one right here. So I'll discard it and I'll get to draw this appliance here. Okay. And then I can place up to 2 tiles. So let's say I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to place this tile right here. And I'm going to place a toothbrush right there next to it. Okay, and that completes my turn. I was able to do all 4 actions. My dice get discarded, and I've got 2 dice left right there.
My turn?
Yes.
I'll put that there.
Okay.
I'll plug in the phone.
All right, she's got her telephone connected right there by the 1 connection.
I'm going to discard to draw.
Okay, she's going to trade right there. Take the trade action by discarding the appliance to draw an appliance.
So I pay 9.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna buy 6.
Okay. And then you got 3 left out of that 9. Okay, she's buying a 3. Yeah, she's opting not to move her mouse. She's leaving her mouse on top right there.
Alright.
Instead. Alright. So for my turn, let's see. I'm going to discard here to draw this card right here. Okay, so that was my trade. Looking at my wiring harness right here. Alright, because I don't want to mess myself up. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to spend my 2 dice right here to buy another 2 party favor over there. And I'm going to, since I don't have any more points with dice, I can't move my mouse or my trap. And I'm not able to place my tiles. So I've only completed 2 actions, so the round's so good. If you can't complete 2 actions, then the round ends. So we'll go ahead and pass it over to Gothy. I should also be able to note that even though she has her mouse here, that if I wanted to place my mouse there, I could move my mouse to there. You can have multiple mice on top of the appliance stack, and then whenever somebody's moves off, they get to draw a card. Also, you can place your mouse on one of your own tiles, so that whenever, like, if you make a bad choice, or you're like, okay, that wiring harness isn't working there very well, I'm going to go ahead and remove it. So you can put your mouse on your own, and then whenever you move it off, you would take that card back to your own hand. So, kind of like a do-over kind of move. Okay. So go ahead and do whatever you're going to do.
So discard first.
Okay, so she's trading. She's discarding to draw that card.
I'm going to put that there.
Right, she's putting a shoe polisher down right there. You don't have to place both cards. You can only place both tiles. You can place one tile at a time if you'd like.
I'm going to pay 5.
All right.
To move my mouse.
Okay, so 2 of that 5 is to move the mouse somewhere.
Right there.
You're moving it to your own file. Okay. So you wouldn't move it as a trap. You move it as your mouse because you're not trapping anybody else's thing. And she got to draw since she moved her mouse. Okay, you still have 3 more left on your thing, and she's going to take a 3 party favor. Your dice are placed to the side right there. Okay. Okay. So my turn. I don't have any dice to buy either party favors or the wiring harnesses, or to be able to move my mouse. I can trade. I'm going to look at my card real quick. Yeah, I'll discard that face down to draw. So I can do one action. I can trade. But I still can't play. So that's only one action I'm able to do on my turn. So the round is going to end. This ends the first round. So basically, whenever the round ends, basically all players re-roll their dice because the round ends. So we re-roll our dice. Okay. Set them to the side to see what we have for the next round. All players get to draw an appliance tile right away. So I'll draw one, and then Gothy can draw one. Where the mice stay, the mice don't go anywhere. Mice will stay where they are at the end of the round. And then we pass the starting marker to the player to the left, which of course would be Gothy, so she's the only other player here. And then we move the top round marker down, so because the first round's over, so now it is the second round. And then play would continue. Gothy would get to go first, so she has got the first player marker and continue on from there. So that's how a basic round goes in Circuit Breaker. You keep going until you get down to the 4th round, and then you would score. Because of your wiring diagram and your whole circuit breaker is going to be full of stuff. And like I said before at the beginning of the video, for each one of your appliances that is not on your little list you get 1 point for them. If you have the same one, like say I got the toothbrush there, I'm actually holding another toothbrush in my hand. So if I had that connected somewhere to a wiring harness like that, I wouldn't get 1 point per toothbrush. I'd get a combined total of 3 for having both toothbrushes attached to my circuit here. If you do have stuff that is on your list, for each one of those tiles, it's 3 points. And if you have the pair, like I did with the toothbrushes, but they are on your list, you get a total of 9 points for the 2 of them. And then you get points for your party favors equal to their value. So I'd have 4 points right here. As my thing is right here, I don't have anything that's on my list, on my wiring diagram here. I have actually, so I'd have a total, if this was the end of the 4th round right now, I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'd only have 6 points right now. I'm not sure if Gothy has anything that's on her list attached to her diagram now, she's saying. So she would actually have 1, 2, 3 for her appliances, and then she would have 3 each for her party favors. So that's a total of 9 points if we were scoring at the end of the game right now. And that's how you play Circuit Breaker. So let's go ahead and get to the review. So as you can see, Circuit Breaker is really simple, really quick, and really easy. It's a fun time. It's got lots of strategic elements of when you're going to place your tiles. Take that aspect of the mouse makes it so that it's interesting every turn. You never know when somebody's going to one-up you or when you're going to be able to one-up them. It's really good. It's coming to Kickstarter on June 18th. So go ahead and check it out on Logan Chops for Logan Chops Reviews. We'll see you next time.